Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayath and Dawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. So this evening's lesson is entitled, Man of Substance versus Man of Character. Something you women need to consider. Okay? And the reason why this lesson just happened to hit me through the spirit a couple days ago, think about it, a man of substance, someone who has a lot of materialistic things, nice car, nice house, nice clothes, nice shoes, just everything is of quality, okay? He has an abundance of things. And of course, then you have a man of character, someone who has, an upright character, honest, has integrity, just someone who has that character, someone who, humble. Now, you see, reason why I brought this lesson because, you women, a lot of you women, like, as the scriptures say, wisdom wasn't imparted unto you. And, that becomes more and more clear as day as to why that is. Because you women, yes, in this society, you have your pick of the litter of who you get to sleep with, and that's due to the whole idea of feminism, okay? But, that's totally going off. But, you women, you're not good at picking that right man for yourself, okay? Because a lot of women nowadays, they don't care about a man for who he is. They care about what does he have. They care about his possessions, more specifically, money. And that's that's this modern generation of these women. All they care about is the money. All they care about is learning how to twerk and, thinking that they could do it all by themselves, be bad by themselves and all that and so on and so forth. But, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai willing that this be the year where you women will be humbled. That you just can't go around doing as you please. You just can't go anywhere by yourself or be Miss Independent or be that Wonder Woman. The Lord is going to, once all hell breaks loose, Jacob's trouble pops off at 100%, I'll tell you this, you women are going to get in line. And you're going to know the difference between a man of substance and a man of character. And the men, the prophets, we are men of character. We don't care about substance because the things of this world are temporal. We're not looking to build here. We're not looking to hold on to the possessions here. Because once you die, all that you've had in that life, someone else is going to claim it. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into the scripts. I ranted on long enough. This is going to be the book of 1 Timothy. Excuse me. This is going to be the book of 1 Timothy. It's going to be chapter 6. Starting at verse 9. And it says, But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Okay, so, people that have a lot of money, and, in this society, money talks. Money makes people do things because people have made money their idol. You know? People are all about chasing that bag, getting that money. You know? Trying to build something when, you know, all this, even Esau will tell you, this money, it's only paper. It don't mean shit. It's just the people are just stupid enough to fall for his devices. Okay, and verse 10 is going to tell you, you know, but here, let me read verse 9 again. 1 Timothy 6 and 9 says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare. So yeah, you get tempted. You get tempted to do things that could be otherwise illegal, or doing, or, you know, you could overspend when all of a sudden a bill comes up, and if you don't pay that bill, then it's like, damn. Or if you don't pay your insurance or whatnot, you lose your car. They repossess your car or whatnot, or don't make payments on your whatever. So you got to be, you know, when it comes to holding a lot of money, you got to learn to be responsible with it. And that's, you know, a lot of people can't do that. And it says, and into many foolish and hurtful lust. Yeah. Into pleasure, into, you know, getting, you know, indulging into certain things that could end up just, you know, ruining you, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Yep. Verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. And these people, especially you women, you love money. Money, 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 money. It's, you know, and that's the point. It's like, you know, excuse me, if a man don't got money, I don't want to deal with him. Or if you know, it's just money, money, money. That's why I can't wait until Yahweh Shemel shuts this shit down. So that way we don't have to worry about money anymore, no more bills, no more of the bullshit. Because that's all it is bullshit. Verse 10 again, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, yeah, because nowadays people will kill you for a damn quarter. Or, like, seriously, a quarter. Kill you for a quarter. They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Yeah. This money, this paper that Esau has set up in this society, man, it corrupts people's minds. Like I said, man, the influence of this devil and his, you know, in his in his society, man, the influence, man, it fucks with people. Verse 11, but then, O man of the Most High, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Okay? And that's what we have to do. As it says in Thessalonians. Yep. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Okay? Verse 23. And the very power of peace sanctify you wholly, and I pray the power, your spirit, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So we are to be blameless. we have to be blameless in this thing. Where is I? 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12, and it says, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. So, fight the good fight of faith. This thing it's a spiritual fight. It's a fight for your salvation. It's a fight for mercy. It's a fight to continuously and consistently, to the best of our ability, to keep improving, to keep growing, to keep doing better every day. Okay, now we're going to get the book of Mark. This is going to be the book of Mark, chapter 10. Mark 10, verse 17. And it says, "And when he was gone forth into the way, there came one running, and kneeled to him, and asked him, Good master, what shall I do that I may inherit eternal life?" Verse 18, "And Yahushua said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is no man good but one, that is Yahweh." 19, "Thou knowest the commandments. Do not commit adultery, do not kill, do not steal, do not bear false witness, defraud not, honor thy father and mother." 20, "And he answered and said unto him, Master, all these have I observed from my youth." Verse 21, "Then Yahushua, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest, go thy way, sell whatsoever thou hast, and give it to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come and take up the cross and follow me." 22, "And he was sad at that saying, and went away grieved, for he had great possessions." Okay, so you have to understand, a man of substance, they're not going to give up all that they have. They covet for it, and they are so attached to it that they're not going to give up this shit. They're not going to give up that nice house. They're not going to give up that nice job. I'm making that good money. I'm making that good money. I'm paying my bills, paying my car, no, they're not going to give that up. They're not going to give up that vehicle. They're not going to give up it. They're not going to do it. That's why a lot of these people, when the you know what is fully out in the open for all to see, and it becomes it becomes mandatory, many people are going to take it, not realizing not realizing the consequences for it. Okay, but a man of character is going to see through that, and they're going to understand. Okay, a man of character is going to see through that, because they have that discernment. Okay, verse 23, "And Yahushua looked round about, and saith unto his disciples, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of the Most High?" Verse 24, "And the disciples were astonished at his words, but Yahushua answereth again, and saith unto them, Children, how hard is it for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of the Most High?" Verse 25, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High." And why did he say that? Because, camels, of course, people, they use camels to carry their stuff. And the reason why it would be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, that narrow pathway, that straight gate, because a camel, he ain't gonna carry all that shit with him. He's gonna just go as he is. And that's how we have to be. We can't carry all that we have, all these, all these physical possessions. This is the shit that we have to leave behind for something much greater, but we have to suffer for it first. And it says here, verse 26, "And they were astonished out of measure, saying among themselves, Who then can be saved? And Yahushua, looking upon them, saith, With men it is impossible, but not with the Most High. For with the Most High all things are possible." Verse 28, "Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all, and have followed thee." And 29, "And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my sake and the gospel's." Verse 30, "But he shall receive 100-fold now in this time houses, and brethren, and sisters, and mothers, and children, and lands with persecutions, and in the world to come eternal life." So a man of substance is not going to give all that up, but a man of character is a different story. So, and you know, having to put off the weak nature, you know, that's a sign of building up character. Okay, because we know in this society, it's a dog eat dog world. Nobody gives a fuck about nobody. This is going to be Proverbs 18 and 10. Proverbs 18 and 10, and it says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." Verse 11, "The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high wall is in his own conceit." So, a man of character, a man of faith, they're going to trust in the Lord. They're going to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Versus a man of substance, he thinks his money is the answer. And you know what? This is going to be the same book, Proverbs. It's going to be chapter 10, starting at verse 15. Proverbs 10 and 15. And it says, "The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty." Okay, now, of course, we all know with money, people have security. They feel secure when they have enough money. They're not in debt. You know, they're secure because they have that emergency money for something that they may need, or you know. But when it comes to being, you know, the destruction of the poor is the poverty, because when you're poor, you're not secure. You have this feeling of being uncomfortable because you don't have the sufficient amount of money to be secure, because you're barely struggling just to get by. But at the same token, same time, a man of character knows the struggle. He knows what it's like. He's been through it, he's gone through it, he's made it through it. It helped build up his character. He learned his lessons from it on how to do better, how to be better. And that's the thing with you women. You women, a lot of you women out there, especially the Israelite women, you're looking at those men like, if there's a guy who's an average Joe, but he has a job, he has a car, he has a decent spot, that's not good enough for you. But when you look at this man over here, you know, he's got nice clothes, looks good, has a nice car, has a nice house. That's, as an old military friend of mine used to say, these women out here, excuse me, all they care about is the bigger, better deal, the BBD. Verse 16, Proverbs 10 and 16, it says, "The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin." Okay, the labor of the righteous tendeth to life. Okay, and the labor that tendeth to life is what we're doing. But the wicked, of course, they do their own thing out there in the world. That's why it says here in Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 11, and it says, "Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun." Verse 12, "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it." Okay, so wisdom is good with an inheritance. So again, going back to my camp, you know, people that have an inheritance or you know, come into a wealthy family, whatnot, they just blow that money. You know, you don't have to be from a wealthy family. You could just be from a family who worked their ass off and they built up to where they saved all this money, and you go blow it all. You know, people just don't understand when you're given something of value, but you don't have the necessary discipline and responsibility to handle it wisely. Okay, that's why it says in verse 12, "For wisdom is a defense and money is a defense." Wisdom is a defense to maneuver in a society with the least amount of resistance, but the least amount of problems. And money is a defense. You know, you're supposed to use your money for things that you need, not that you want. But wisdom is what giveth life to them that have it. Okay. So you have to be wise with money, just with anything and anything and everything in general. This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 11. And it says, the rich man is, Proverbs 28, Proverbs 28 and 11. And it says, the rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. So, people that are wealthy, they may put on that facade of like, they're a good person, they donate. They could do all those things. They could do good things, but, a person that hath understanding will be able to see right through them, see them for who they really are. You can only, people can only put on a mask for so long until eventually people are going to catch on to it. Going to verse 20, Proverbs 28 and 20. And it says, a faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. Okay? Hustling for that money, doing whatever it takes to get that money, to get that paper in your pocket, right? And there are some people that'll do something strange for some change, something illegal, something abominable. Okay? Can't be doing that. You won't be innocent if you're out there hustling for that bag. Okay? This is going to be the book of James. This is going to be James chapter 1. Okay, so James chapter 1, verse 11, and it says, for the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Okay? Just like the burning heat that withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth, so is a rich man that fadeth in his ways. So, it may seem great for a time, but even people who have money, even they have problems. Okay? It's just a different type of problem, but a problem nonetheless. You may be rich and you may end up being alone, or you did a lot of hustling, fucked people over just to get that money, and now you have to go into hiding because people are after you because riches are ill-gotten gains, and the man of substance, like I said, man, someone that has possessions, that covets things, that wants things, desires things, it's not the way. All right, now we're going to the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha. It's going to be chapter 13. Sirach 13, and starting at verse 21. Sirach 13 and 21. And it says, a rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends. Because what the rich man, he's got that social status, he's got that charisma, he's got that popularity. So, you know, people are going to be willing to help him, but the poor one, the one that nobody gives a fuck about, the one who's meek and humble and has always been respectful, what happens to him when he's down and out? People just, fuck him. Let him ride. Verse 22, when a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely, and could have no place. So, you know, that's just the thing, man, you know. See, especially in this society, the man of substance, yeah, he's he's got it. But the man of character, you know, people don't care about character. They care about what you got. What's this? What's that? How much you got? Okay. You know, a man of substance, you know, he could be coveting something that you may have, even though you women are trying to get with him, but you may have something that he won't. Okay? I mean, other than just the sweet box, but you know, you may have prized possessions of your own that he can get his hands on. You never know. The man of substance, you know, someone that's just into having a lot of stuff, materialistic things, you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having some things, but when it becomes an obsession and you overdo it, that's when it's a problem. You got to know your limits. It's about moderation, knowing your limits. Verse 23. And it says, Sirach 13 and 23, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So, for the people that have high status in this society, it's like they basically get a free pass because they got the money, they got the resources, they got the connections. So they know people, they can get around. But people who are poor and don't have nothing, they're just seen as garbage, trash. And even when the wise man speaks his mind, he speaks the truth and he speaks honestly, they still put him down. All right, now we're going to go to Psalms chapter 37. Psalms 37 and 16. It says, a little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. Okay? So a man of character is better than a man of substance. Okay? Now we're going to go to chapter 52. Wait. Yeah. So this is going to be Psalms 52, verse 6. Psalms 52 and 6. And it says, the righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Verse 7, lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. So, these people that have money, when things really start getting ugly out here, these people that have all that money, watch how they respond and act when that money that they have means absolutely nothing anymore. They go crazy, they lose it, you know. They wonder why it's not working. Or they wonder why, you know, they try to give somebody that money if they felt threatened or whatever the case, and that person doesn't care. It's not going to do them any good. Or whatever the case, you know. money's not going to save you. Same book, Psalms chapter 39. Actually, hold on, let me go back. Yeah, okay, we're good. So, putting your faith and trust in money, man, it's not going to end well. This is Psalms 39:6. It says, surely every man walketh in a vain show. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heapeth up riches and knoweth not who shall gather them. Once again, man, so this devil, Esau, Edom, he's gathering up, being greedy, like always. Doesn't even realize that he's gathered all this stuff up for the nation of Israel, more specifically the elect. In fact, all these global leaders. They just take and take and take, even from their own people, but give nothing in return. This is going to be Proverbs chapter 11, verse 4. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 4, and it says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So there you go. That's pretty much the answer. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. So again, what good is that money going to do you when it becomes obsolete? They're going to have to take the you-know-what. But even then, that leads to a dead end. And plus, like I said, if something happens to you, you can't bring your stuff with you. It's going to have to go to somebody else. And when they're gone, it's going to go to somebody else again, and so on and so forth. And it's just going to keep getting passed around until it eventually breaks, or it's just too old. Okay, verse 28, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28, and it says, he that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish like as a branch. So there you go. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall. This is going to be Proverbs chapter 28, verse 6. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. So, better it is to be poor and walketh in your uprightness, to have integrity, have a humility, than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. So it's better to be poor and having integrity than to be, someone who has money, but you do all these out-of-pocket things. Okay. There's an example right here. This is the book of 2 Samuel. It's going to be chapter 12. Excuse me. In fact, this is 2 Samuel chapter 11, starting at verse 2. And this is when King David had his eyes on Bathsheba, who was the wife of the Hittite Uriah. And Uriah was he was a soldier in King David's army. And it says here, 2 Samuel chapter 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 2, and it says, and it came to pass in the evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house, and from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Verse 3, and David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? 4, and David sent messengers, and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived and sent and told David, and said, I am with child. Verse 6, and David sent Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come up unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said unto Uriah, Go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. Verse 9, But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house, with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. Verse 10, When they told David, saying, Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, Camest thou not from the journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house? And Uriah said unto David, The ark, and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. Okay, so basically, Uriah was keeping an eye over the encampment that Israel and Judah were in, and as well as the basically just kind of being a security guard, just kind of watching out for enemy nations that would invade. Verse 12, And David said unto Uriah, Tarry here today also, and tomorrow will I let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow, and when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And that evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, but went not down to his house. Verse 14, When it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah into a place where he knew that valiant men were. Verse 17, And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. So Uriah was set up, just because David had coveted his wife. David had a lot of substance when he was king. When you're king, you have a lot. Money, power, rulership. You just have a lot. You have a whole, especially when you have a military and army backing you, and so on and so forth, all the good stuff. That stuff can go right to your head. Being a king, being in a high position like that. And David, he should have been put to death, but the Lord had mercy on him for what he did. Okay, now we go to 2 Samuel chapter 12, starting at the top, verse 1, and it says, And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, There were 2 men in one city, and the one rich and the other poor. Verse 2, The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds. Verse 3, But the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children. And it did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. Verse 4, And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take one of his own, to take of his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was to come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb, and dressed it for the man that was to come to him, that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, As the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die, and he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, Thou art the man. Basically telling David, yeah, that man is you. You're that rich man that took from somebody else. As verse 7 says, and Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Whereof thou hast despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight, thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Verse 10. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun. Oof. Verse 12, for thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. Okay? So, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua knows how to humble people when it comes to punishing them. And oof, that's one heck of a punishment, Oh man. Verse 13, and David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because of this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. Talking about the child before Solomon. So, yeah, man, being a person of substance and being covetous and, having a passion and a desire for materialistic things, man, it's not the way to go. It may seem like it at first, but in the long run, man, it's not the way. The man of character may start off in a shitty position, but he eventually builds up and he keeps getting better every day. That's why it says here in Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19 and 11. And it says, ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. So, don't steal, don't deal falsely. No ill willing, no ill wills, or no ill deals. Okay, just be straightforward and honest and do things fairly and with reason, and neither lie one to another. So no false witness. And that's what King David did, he took someone else's wife, he dealt falsely with the husband, and he lied to him and eventually had him killed. So that's what it says here in verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. So you're not to rob a man of, his honest work, of what he has put together for himself. You have no right to take that from him. It's going to be Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And this has happened to everyone that has been dealing with people in a perverse or unrighteous manner or ill manner. Even Israel, even the other nations, look what's happening here. So, going back to 1 Samuel, Slovakia, where it says, roughly paraphrasing, actually, no, I'm just going to get the scripture. It's there. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, it says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Okay? Yahweh by Shem Shai focuses on who you are as a person rather than just your physical appearance. He don't care how you look. He wants to know what type of person you are. Are you a man of substance or a man of character? You know? And like I said, this is something that you women need to consider because, like I said before, you women always end up with the guys that treat you like shit, don't want to have nothing to really do with you, they cheat on you, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And you wonder where all the good men are at. All the men that will not abuse you, that'll treat you right. Well, you always thought of those good men when you first met them. You thought they were losers, weirdos, creeps, insecure. When all those men were just looking for someone to, you know, to have something with, to have a future with, to build up with. But you refused them. But you'll go and give these assholes, these arrogant asses, all the love and attention, but in reality, they don't give a damn about you. You're just that one piece of meat that they could just, you know, take a bite out of every now and then. You know, and another thing too, this is going to be Isaiah. Let's see. Yep, Isaiah 32:2. A man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Okay? A lot of these men out here, especially the men of substance that are doing what they got to do to survive, taking other people's shit, a lot of them are just going to be unalived in the streets. While the men of character, the prophets, Lord willing, that if we are of the elect, we're going to be that hedge of protection for you women. And you're going to see it. You're going to finally realize it. That the man of character, the one who's been poor, never had much, always preaching the Bible, working an average job, not making much, just barely scrapping by, you're going to see that that was the man that you should have stuck with from the start. So a lot of you women are going to get rejected in that day. Like I said, it doesn't matter how you look. It's about your soul, about your spirit. What kind of person are you? And Yahweh by Shem Shai is going to give his men that level of discernment to be able to tell the difference. So you can lie all you want, but we'll be able to tell that you're not worth our time. All right, so once again, this is man of substance versus man of character. You know, and you know, we all got our traits, you know. But in the beginning, the man of substance would be the choice pick, but in the long run, it's the man of character. That's the most valuable. I hope that this lesson was edifying unto the body and to the few sincere believers and listeners. Okay, and with that, closing, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching his word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath of the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Baba, Shalom, Barakatam.